History does not simply vanish. It lingers. It whispers from old photographs, from crumbling maps, from stones stacked by hands that turned to dust millennia ago. But some whispers are too faint to understand. Some doors in the past refuse to open. Despite all our technology, all our research, there are moments in time that remain sealed. You can stare at the evidence, you can form your theories, but the truth remains just out of reach, mocking us from the darkness. These are the cases that keep historians awake at night. These are the historical mysteries that are still unsolved. The Great Pyramid of Giza stands as the last wonder of the ancient world, but its construction remains one of history's greatest enigmas. Imagine over 2 million stone blocks, some weighing as much as 80 tons, stacked with a precision that modern engineers struggle to replicate. The mainstream theory suggests a massive ramp, but no evidence of such a ramp has ever been found. How did a Bronze Age civilization move these mountains of stone? Some propose internal ramps. Others suggest the blocks were cast from an ancient form of concrete. But as you stand before this monument, you have to ask, could we even build it today? And if we can't, how did they? From a mystery of stone, we move to a mystery of flesh and blood, or rather, a mystery defined by its absence. In 1587, a group of English settlers landed on Roanoke Island. Their governor, John White, returned to England for supplies. When he came back 3 years later, the colony was gone. No bodies, no battle scars, just a single word carved into a wooden post: Croatoan, the name of a nearby island. But before White could search, a hurricane forced his ship back to sea. The colonists were never seen again. Were they absorbed into local tribes? Were they killed by the Spanish? Or did they simply vanish into the wilderness, leaving only a word as their epitaph? Speaking of identity lost to time, let us travel to the fog-choked streets of Victorian London. In 1888, the Whitechapel district became a hunting ground. Jack the Ripper killed at least 5 women, mutilating them with surgical precision. He wrote letters to the police, taunting them. He was seen, spoken to, but never caught. Suspects range from a royal physician to a Polish barber to a prominent painter. We have DNA, we have witness statements, we have the autopsy reports. But the man behind the knife remains a ghost, a shadow cast by the gaslights of history, forever unnamed. But what if a mystery could be held in your hands? Imagine opening a book written in a language no one has ever seen. The Voynich manuscript is exactly that. Discovered in 1912, this codex is filled with illustrations of plants that don't exist, astronomical charts that make no sense, and text that has defied every codebreaker in history. Carbon dating places it in the early 15th century. But who wrote it, and why? Is it a lost language, a complex cipher, or an elaborate hoax? You can look at the pages yourself online, and you will feel it. The eerie sensation of staring at a message meant for someone else, a conversation you are not invited to. Sometimes a mystery is not just a book, but an entire civilization. The lost city of Atlantis first appears in the writings of Plato. He described a powerful, advanced island nation that sank into the ocean in a single day and night of misfortune. For centuries, explorers have searched for it. In the Mediterranean? In the Atlantic? Or was it never real at all? Perhaps Plato invented it as a moral fable. But the legend persists because it taps into a primal fear, that greatness can be swallowed by the earth without a trace, that a civilization, no matter how mighty, can simply be erased. That fear becomes terrifyingly real in the Ural Mountains in 1959. 9 experienced hikers ventured into the snow. They never came out. Rescuers found their tent slashed open from the inside. The hikers' bodies were scattered in the snow, some barefoot, some with radiation on their clothing. Injuries were bizarre. Cracked skulls, a missing tongue, internal damage without external wounds. The official report concluded an unknown compelling force caused their deaths. Avalanche? Infrasound? A secret Soviet weapons test? Or something else? Something watching from the tree line that made them run into the freezing night, desperate to escape? From the snows of Russia, we ascend into the skies. Amelia Earhart was the most famous female aviator in the world. In 1937, she attempted to circumnavigate the globe. Somewhere over the Pacific, she vanished. The leading theory is she ran out of fuel and crashed into the ocean. But recent sonar images and artifacts found on remote islands suggest she might have landed safely and survived as a castaway. Did she die a castaway? Was she captured by the Japanese? The radio signals, the debris, the last known coordinates, it all points to a plane that simply disappeared into the blue, leaving the sky as empty as our questions. Hidden wealth is a powerful lure. For over 200 years, the Oak Island mystery has drawn treasure hunters to Nova Scotia. Deep beneath the surface lies the Money Pit, a booby-trapped shaft filled with layers of logs, coconut fiber, and stone. Inscribed stones have been found suggesting treasure is buried 40 feet below. The Knights Templar, Shakespeare's manuscripts, the Ark of the Covenant. Every theory has been proposed. Millions have been spent, and several men have died trying to reach the bottom. But the pit floods with seawater, as if the island itself is protecting its secret. The question is, what is worth dying for, buried down there in the dark? Sometimes the mystery comes not from the earth, but from the heavens. In 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio detected a signal. It lasted exactly 72 seconds. It was narrow-band, exactly the type of transmission you would expect from an intelligent source. The astronomer who discovered it wrote, "Wow," on the printout. It came from the constellation Sagittarius. It was never heard again. We have searched that patch of sky thousands of times. Silence. Was it a reflection of a human signal? A comet? Or did something out there, for just 1 minute, try to say hello? And finally, we return to the Earth, to a circle of stones standing on a green plain in England. Stonehenge is ancient. It predates the pyramids. The stones weigh tons, and some were transported over 140 miles. The alignment with the solstices is perfect. But why? Was it a temple? A calendar? A place of healing? We can measure it, we can date it, but we cannot know the minds of the people who built it. What did they believe? What god did they worship as the sun rose between those stones? So here we are. A pyramid without a blueprint, a colony without a trace, a killer without a name, a book without a reader, a city without a location, a mountain that drove people to madness, a pilot without an ending, a treasure that guards itself, a signal from the void, and a circle of stones that has watched the sunrise for 5,000 years, silent as the grave. History is not a finished book. It is a collection of fragments, and we are left to fill in the gaps. But what if we are filling them wrong? What if some gaps are meant to stay empty? Which of these mysteries haunts you the most? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe to walk with us into the unknown. The past is waiting, and it is not finished with us yet.